West Indies were drawn in the group of death, so-called group of death of this T20 World Cup, but they're through as group winners, 4 wins from 4, 7 wins since they joined up in Jamaica at the end of May, 8 wins in a row now in T20 internationals. Ian Bishop, this was a command performance against Afghanistan, which sets them up really well for the real business of the Super 8s, which start on Wednesday against England.
Yeah, and that's the real business, as you said. But what I was really pleased to see with the West Indies tonight is it was a game that you couldn't, it had no sort of impact on whether you advance further, right? So they could have taken their foot off the gas. They didn't do that, and that says something about this current incarnation of the team heading into the Super 8. And the conditions that they played as well perhaps suited them more than it did Afghanistan. So I was happy to see Puran bat deep and do what he did.
Rovman Powell said in the build-up that the batters had already eyed this St. Lucia leg of this World Cup as something to look forward to. These conditions seem to really suit West Indies, and there'll be a real match for England on Wednesday night.
I would think so, because the ball comes on here, you can trust the bounce. I would think England would like it as well. I don't think they've ever lost a T20 international here in St. Lucia, right? And then you've got their fast bowlers against the West Indian seamers. But the West Indies have those 2 left-arm spinners and perhaps Roston Chase, which they will be hoping provides the edge. But the conditions here in St. Lucia, the best and fairest pitch in the Caribbean, produces good cricket. Not just high scoring, but it brings all bowlers into the game.
It's been really interesting tactically as well. We've obviously had a strong cross breeze blowing tonight across the ground from the media centre end towards the Johnson Charles stand. There was also a short side. We're using the same pitch on Wednesday night. It'll be a really, really good tactical battle between 2 well-matched teams.
It adds so much, doesn't it? I think a number of the grounds in the Caribbean are like that. But of the grounds that I have worked at, and I haven't worked at all this tournament yet, the wind has been strongest here. So again, the smarts of knowing when to hit with the wind, as Puran did exceptionally tonight. Bowlers trapping guys, hitting into the wind. Look, it's a mouth-watering prospect coming up because England sacrificed a lot. Just Butler and those guys came home early from the IPL to build towards this after the disappointment of last year. So I can't wait.
Gudakesh Moti and Akil Hussain, since they've been paired for West Indies, they've been phenomenal as a partnership. Akil Hussain obviously bowling primarily in the power play. Gudakesh Moti then coming on with is a slightly different style of left-arm spinner, even though they're both left-arm orthodox. They complement each other really well, and they'll probably be licking their lips against an England top order with quite a few right-handers in there.
And that's where England's left-hander, if Moeen Ali, for example, plays, then Moeen Ali, a lot of responsibility is going to have to be on his shoulders. I was a little bit, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but pleasantly pleasing to see how 2 samey type of bowlers, 2 left-arm spinners turning the ball in the same direction, although Akil has the arm ball, have complemented each other so well. So that's something that is new to me. They've got Roston Chase there as the option to go the other way. Ideally, in a perfect world, they'd like a wrist spinner. They don't have that, so they've gone with 2 left-hand spinners. So, look, I wouldn't mind seeing them change it up, though, at some point, because teams are planning for Akil Hussain, particularly in that power play.
You mentioned Roston Chase. 2 changes for the West Indies tonight. We had Romario Shepherd was absent on paternity leave, so congratulations to him and his family. But also we had Roston Chase rested, rotated, I suppose, for Shea Hope. And Obed McCoy came into the team and did phenomenally well. There are some selection headaches for this England game, it's fair to say.
Absolutely, and I asked Rovman Powell that at the end of the game. Obed has struggled, as you know, Matt, for a couple of years now with his rhythm, with his consistency. I would think if he continues bowling like this, he's perhaps got the edge as a bowler over Romario Shepherd. Romario Shepherd's USP, unique selling point, is his batting and the power. Now, the question is thrown up is, do the West Indies need that batting against England, or do they need that left-handed seaming option? I still think they'll go back to Romario Shepherd once he becomes available, but Shepherd has answered, Ben McCoy has answered a few of the questions, and Shea Hope was coming tonight just to see what he could offer in case down the road something is needed.
One England player who has a good head-to-head record against the West Indies, and quite a few of their individual batters as well, is Adil Rashid. Did Puran tonight sort of show the template as to how you can go against a top-quality wrist spinner, and that he really took his medicine, I suppose, against Noor Ahmed and then went deep at the end? Is that how West Indies should approach that battle against Rashid?
The recognition of what Puran needs to do against Rashid and the other slow bowling options in the tournament is what impressed me a lot tonight, because he knows he's a good player of spin. He knows that it can't be slapdash in the power play and then get dismissed, and he took it deep tonight. Shea Hope or Ruston Chase is the other option of playing spin well. But look, you go back to the pandemic, man. Ruckman Powell scored 100 against England in Barbados, against Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali. So other guys will have to step up in case Puran, God forbid, gets a good one.
It's been an interesting tournament for England so far, scraping through really. Phil Salt is someone who had a lot of success in the T20 series in December with a couple of hundreds. He's not really got going yet in this tournament, but coming to St. Lucia, he'll probably be licking his lips again to try and get a big score at a ground which should suit the sort of aggressive style that he has in the power play.
They've got the aggression. They've got Butler, they've got Salt up the top, they've got Johnny Bairstow, they've got Moeen Ali, all those power hitters coming through the middle. So England are a dynamic team, and if they're focused, and we've seen teams just edge it into the next round. We can go back to Australia in 1999, just edging through different phases. England themselves in the last World Cup. So once they are here, no team will take them for granted, even though they just got in, because they've got power, they've got the spin, and they've got the fast bowling. Don't forget Jofra Archer, Mark Wood, Reece Topley.
Just lastly, where do you feel West Indies are at this point in the tournament? They've obviously had such a good run. I suppose the key thing now for Captain Rodman Powell and Coach Darren Sammy will be keeping them level, keeping the preparation right, heading into what is a pretty quick run of games. They play Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. But it does feel like something is really building here, and there's a huge opportunity to win a third World Cup, an unprecedented third World Cup on home soil.
And unprecedented if they win it on home soil, because as you've always said, nobody's really won the World Cup on their home soil just yet. Look, I think keeping them focused won't be a problem. I think preparing them won't be a problem. It comes down to the confidence of what they're doing now that we're getting into that business area of this T20 World Cup. So there's a good vibe though, because I remember I talked to one coach just before the New Zealand game in Trinidad, and he said, these guys are focused. They are ready for this. There's no fear, but pure focus in that dressing room. And I think we're seeing that now.
Co-host West Indies on a roll, face the defending champions here in St. Lucia on Wednesday night. Should be a cracker.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक OTT के दाम पे सारे OTT शान से।
Watch